Very good noon to all of you. Today I will present a feminist approach to the Great Gatsby. Here is my personal detail. Here is a key point of a presentation of this presentation: introduction to the Great Gatsby, historical background and feminism, feminist literary criticism, general concept and attitude. Compare with a traditional man and compare with a traditional woman, and then conclusion. First of all, introduction to the Great Gatsby. The story was written for Nick's point of the view. Nick came to the New York from his home in the Midwest, right next to the Stanley home of the book's protagonist Gatsby. When Gatsby was a young, he lost his heart to the wealthy woman named Daisy. But he lost her at the time because he was a poor and forced to the war. When he came back from the when he came back the war, he did business in a illegal way and become a man with a largely amount of money. Daisy married Tom, who had a many mysteries, so that Daisy married life was not happy. Material satisfaction could not fill her spiritual void. Gatsby did everything just to Daisy, and he came back waiting married with Daisy. At last, he was dead for Daisy, but nobody came to his funeral except his father and his friend Nick. Since Nick's witness and deeply desired the human reality of the ingratitude, he left the inner New York City. Second one is historical background and feminism. Feminism usually means the movement of a recognition of the claim of a woman for a right in a legal, political, feminine field, etc., equal to those posed by men in a both sense of feminism. He expressed three ways. He first wave started from late 17th century to early 19th century. It was influenced by French Revolution and Enlightenment movement in 1719. Green published the Declaration of a Woman Rights, which became the document of a movement. The Great Gatsby is a work of the 19th-20th century, a period when upheavals upwells of every aspects and talking place. Therefore, a relative the general role reflect in his novel is of importance in influence of the First World War. First World War social are reshaped and people began to refine women's role and status in society, and also their duty and responsibility to the society. What's more, women's movement at that time for women right to vote the final success. Reside that demand. Third one is feminist literary criticism. Feminist literary criticism, which emerged in the 19th-16th century, is a literary criticism theory developed by the women and liberation movement in the European and United States at that time. Feminist literary criticism holds that it is necessary to make a new interpretation of a literary works from the perspective of the woman, to criticize the male-centered Western civilization and the behavior of a distortion the imagination image of a woman in male literary and the excuse at the established woman's own literary tradition. The literary tradition and change the particularly center-based feminist literary criticism has always focused on the classes and authority in the protest to the experience gender equality, and they changed the particular rooted in the field identity. Ideology. Third, a general concept and attitude. First of all, Daisy's concept of being a woman is a totally different from that the previous generation. For a traditional norm, women had other role other than those of other other than those of the wife and mother, and in a particularly motherhood is considered as a woman's good god give God-given purpose, it importance in universal as, accepted. Thus, the motherhood become the central part of the familiar role. According to them, child burning and rearing are the basic cause of opportunity become a responsibility. For children was a conflict, woman to the home in all or along all society. At the first generation in history, they were going to creating loving, respectful, or generally relationship between those. The novel protagonist Daisy, like here the dialogue, she is a nice girl. Said Tom after a moment. They out to let her run around the country his way. Who out on to inquiry Daisy coldly her family. Her family is and about 1,000 year old. Beside the Nix going to the look after her. Not next, she is going to spend last week and out her this summer. I think the home influence will be a very good for Daisy and Tom. Look at each other moment. From this conversation, the reader could easily. From this conversation, the reader can could easily infer that Tom is a very traditional man. There is a indicational previous in this novel. For example, Tom once says, "Boy, God, I may be." Tom says that, "By God, I may be a fashionist in my ideas, but women run around too much these days to." So to me, the com- compare with the traditional men. Moreover, as a Daisy is a modern woman, her attitude toward marriage is a quite different from Tom, who traditional men. Daisy and Tom, quite different mentally. Their thinking style and their very much different in this novel. There is a disagreement between her and Tom as for her own marriage. Daisy feels rather hurt and depressed. She reveals her true emotions to Nick in the novel. It I will show you how I will gotten to feel about things. Well, she was less than an hour old and Tom was a good known when I wake up out of the other within with an eternally abandoned feeling and asked the nurse right away if it was a boy or a girl. She told me it was a girl, and so I turned my hand away and wait. Here, this is our dialogue of the text. As this dialogue is represent as a reader, we can inter that Daisy is not happy with her marriage, and we could even says that is a tragedy. Her daughter, the first and the only child she is with Tom, of course, is considered to be the fruit of their marriage. But Tom was absent, probably be having fun somewhere at the time when the baby boy was born. This means that Tom does not care about her and their marriage of the family of their family. In the deep mind of Tom, the woman is still tool. However, Daisy does not think so. She wants to her marriage and family to be one it used to be. What she really wants is not a happiness for a economically satisfaction, but the love and care from her husband. Tom was not care her, and she not have and Daisy was not happy with her marriage. In our society, all women, some people like money is all of me, but not everyone. In this novel, Daisy, Daisy. Daisy wants not my economically happiness, but she want a love, care, and by there is husband. We can Daisy, we can see suffer a lot, be a new woman pursuing the true happiness. Thus, she comes to the conclusion that is the world Well, the best thing a girl can do is to be a fool. This does not mean that she is really wants to daughter to be a fool. Uh, uh, Initially, what is truly in her mind is that she wants to prevent her daughter from suffering, and she would rather prefer her daughter to be a fool and have no idea about anything and have a feeling. Compared with a traditional woman, Daisy attitude. Uh, Compared with the traditional woman, Daisy attitude toward marriage is also different for the traditional woman. Women's attitude toward marriage is represented by the social norms of that time. According to Simone behavior, marriage at that time are like this marriage then are not generally founded upon a love. As a frequent put it, thus the husband is, so to speak, never more than a substitution for the beloved man. Not that man himself at this dissection is in no way accidental. It is implied in the very nature of a institution. The aim of which is to make the economics and the sexual union of a man and woman. Marriage is the destiny traditionally offered to women by the society. However, according to Daisy, her destiny is not decided by her marriage by but herself. This could be inferred by her reaction to Tom's affair and her affair with Gatsby, when Tom does not disguise his interest in other women. She reacts like this. Go ahead, answer her, Daisy, genuinely, and if you want to take down any address here, here's my little gold pencil. Of course, she does. She does care about her of course, she does care about her marriage, and while Tom has an affair, she feels sad and depressed. However, she does not accept her separately like other women who are dependent by their husband. She take the challenge and she even defined Tom. She walked close to Gatsby, touching his coat with her hands. Her flirting with another man, even in her husband, present strongly indicate her rejection and justification of her husband and their marriage. As a modern woman, she bravely express her need and make her feeling known. Therefore, Daisy's modernity is a reflect both by her modern thought and professionally. In the novel, Daisy attitude, the modern thoughts, and their mentality in reflect when she rejected their husband and so many depression she suffering, but she was not. Quite that, but she was strongly stand for herself so the reflect the novel reflected the modern thought and performance. Conclusion, although female character in The Great Gatsby seem subject to men and they are not able to master their lives like the traditional women, the change a lot not only in behavior. The main character, Daisy's attitude toward marriage and family are largely different from traditional men and women, which implies Fitzgerald concern about women. In The Great Gatsby, the author depict the difference between traditional women and the female character, particularly Daisy, which indicate their modernity. Therefore, the Gatsby can be considered as a woman book that reflection woman's change and showing their modernity. Here, my work cited. Thank you. If any question, you can ask me.